Imagine if the United States stretched all the way to the Arctic Ocean. No border. No passport checks. No Canada. One country covering almost the entire northern half of North America. It almost happened. More than once. So why didn't it? Why did two nations, with the world's longest peaceful border, nearly identical cultures, and a shared language, end up becoming completely separate countries? The answer involves revolution, war, empire, and one decision that changed North American history forever. Long before the United States or Canada existed, North America was home to millions of indigenous people. Hundreds of nations lived across the continent. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy governed large parts of the Northeast. The Cree traveled across vast forests and plains. The Inuit thrived in the Arctic. Farther south, dozens of other nations built thriving communities, each with its own language, traditions, and systems of government. Then, in the late 1400s and early 1500s, European explorers arrived. And everything began to change. By the 1600s, two powerful European empires dominated much of North America. Britain controlled colonies along the Atlantic coast. France claimed an enormous territory known as New France, stretching from the St. Lawrence River deep into the interior of the continent. For decades, these empires competed for land, trade, and influence. Then came war. During the 7 Years' War, Britain defeated France. In 1763, France gave up most of its North American territory. Britain suddenly controlled nearly everything east of the Mississippi River. But victory created a new problem. Britain now had millions of French-speaking Catholic settlers living in what is now Canada. Instead of forcing them to abandon their language and religion, Britain allowed many of their traditions to continue. That decision would shape Canada's future for centuries. Just a few years later, Britain's 13 colonies to the south rebelled. In 1776, they declared independence. The American Revolution had begun. Many revolutionaries expected the northern colonies to join them. Some even invaded Quebec, hoping Canadians would support independence. But most people in Canada refused. Some feared the violence. Others remained loyal to Britain. And many French Canadians saw little reason to trust the new revolutionaries. When the war ended in 1783, the United States became an independent nation. Canada remained part of the British Empire. For the first time, a political border divided the continuous. Over the next century, the two neighbors developed in very different ways. The United States expanded rapidly westward, purchasing new territories and admitting new states. Canada grew more gradually under British rule. In 1867, several British colonies united to form the Dominion of Canada. It governed itself in many areas but still recognized the British monarch as head of state. The United States had chosen a republic. Canada chose a constitutional monarchy. Two democracies. Two different political systems. The two countries didn't always agree. In 1812, they fought a war. Neither side achieved a decisive victory. Afterward, something remarkable happened. Instead of preparing for endless conflict, both nations gradually settled their disputes through diplomacy. Treaties defined the border. Trade increased. Cooperation replaced rivalry. Today, the Canada-United States border stretches more than 5,500 miles. It is the longest international land border in the world. And for generations, it has remained one of the most peaceful. The answer wasn't a single event. It was many choices made over centuries. Canada remained loyal to Britain after the American Revolution. French culture survived in Quebec. British institutions continued to shape Canadian government. And over time, Canadians developed their own national identity. Even though the two countries share a continent. Trade with each other every day. Watch many of the same movies. And speak the same language across much of their populations. They grew into two distinct nations with different histories and tradition. Today, the United States and Canada are among the closest allies in the world. They defend the same continent. Trade billions of dollars in goods every week. And share the longest peaceful border on Earth. History could have taken a very different path. But sometimes, the biggest moments aren't the ones that unite countries. They're the ones that quietly send them in different directions. And that's why North America has two nations where there could have been one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments, which border or historical event should we explore next.